Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. The more you rise in the world, in life, meaning you achieve more, you're more of a position-oriented person, the more the ego can see you. Visualize a low-flying plane versus a balloon flying over Canadian and American space. The more one rises, the more the ego can see you rise, and the ego tries to poison that, corrupt you, make you compromise, to pull you down. And so just like in a physical sense, one has to rise with stealth. For us to rise to divinity, we have to do so with humility. Technology needs to be more advanced to be stealth-like. We have to be more humble to not be pulled down by the tamasic, rajasic, and most dangerously, sattvic ego. As we complete 100 days of meaningful mornings this semester, as we approach 1,000 mornings, for us to check our humility by appreciating what we have. Relax the body, enjoy the breath, quieten the mind by appreciating the magnificent opportunity you have to nurture humility. Vaktaram avatu man. May my teacher and me as a student be protected from the ego. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna defeats the asuras. For us, that means vices. Like Putana is ignorance. Shakata is materialism. Shri Krishna delivers the suras, like Agni and Indra, who come in with arrogance and egoism. Shri Krishna delivers them. For us, that's values. Shri Krishna defeats our vices, delivers our values. Delivering values means for us to become virtuous. And what Shri Krishna does for the gopis is he delights them. He marries them. He loves them. He gives himself to them. For us, that is going past virtues, where one is one with divinity. From vices to values, values to virtues, and then beyond virtues to divinity. You see the consistency of the teachings of Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means infinite joy. How? Through self-development. In Sanskrit, we call that yoga. Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching that. Bhagavad Gita is teaching this. Every year, I teach Balavihar teachers on how to be better, how to engage in yoga in their service. One of the modules I facilitated for them is how to think. More important than what to think is how to think. I want to share some insights with you right now on how to study. Maybe you joined Meaningful Mornings in the second section of our exploration of Bhagavad Gita. We still have an entire section to go. We can be better when it comes to being students. I took out my notes from the Vedanta course to show you. As you're listening to Meaningful Mornings, and I've encouraged you to have your camera on, not to eat anything, not to drink anything, to have notes, to write on paper, like my paper is getting wet right now. Write your notes in short form first. Can you see that margin right there? Visualize it. When I'm listening to Pujaswami Tejomayananda, I barely don't look at it. And whatever I'm doing, I'm writing in the column in a very short way, a way that only I can interpret. Then I would go to my room and write these short notes into long notes. And you can see that too. Then you can see proper writing in the lines, correct? From the margin to the lines. Then after that, my study is not complete. I still listen to Bhagavad Gita when I go to different discourses or online. And so I refine my notes, not in pen though, in pencil. Here, my notes have been written in pen because in India, it's very humid. So pencil goes away faster. Now I'm in North America, so I add further points in pencil. I'm encouraging all of you to study like this. And that's why I had asked all of you to chart out these values. If you analyze how we're experiencing chapter 12, I have shared the values in Sanskrit. I've shared them in an English translation and then an English expression also. Then we went verse by verse explaining how to practice this, and now we're refining it. And anyone who's charted this out, this is all very clear to you. But those who didn't, then you're missing. What does this value mean? How am I to practice this? One of the values we came across, it was value 20, is tyaga. It means to renounce passivity, to renounce being a passive learner. Prince Arjuna is not a passive learner. If he was, Bhagavad Gita would have been 2 chapters. But he's an active learner, hence the 18 chapters. Meaningful Mornings is not a casual community or offering. I hope you're feeling that. In verse 15, the values are mukta and then no dvijate. When you become free inside, then you stop being annoyed outside. In verse 16, I just highlighted one of the values, which is tyaga, to renounce meaninglessness. Meaningless friendships, meaningless talking, meaningless studying also. We continue, verse 17. Yo na hrishyati na dveshti, na shochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktiman yahasa me priyaha, bhaktiman yahasa me priyaha. Joy. In 17, in the first line and part of the second line, there is no new values. Shri Krishna is essentially sharing one who lives in a balanced way. A further insight, Pujaswami Tejomayananda had shared, that the nature of nature is to change. When I was deciding to teach inside or outside, I thought, this morning I had to take out the recycling, switch the car seats because we were going to Cleveland, and it stopped raining. So I thought, yes, it stopped raining, but see how that's changed. And his point is, this is a fact, so why would you complain about a fact? Rain, why are you raining? God, does it make a difference? It just, you're laughing at me now, not with me. You're laughing at me for complaining about a fact. The value shared in 17 is bhakti. The 21st value is bhakti. Bhakti, here's another way to practice this. Creation is sometimes described as Maya, correct? But there's actually two types of Maya, Vidya Maya and Avidya Maya. There is creation that makes us more remembrance-oriented and creation that makes us more forgetting-oriented. Bhakti is when you remember that Maya has a pati, that creation is facilitated by the Creator, and the Creator's nature is love. The Creator loves you. That's when creation stops harming. You start to be dedicated to creation. But those who forget this, they feel nature, they feel the world is harming them, which is why they never serve the world then. They serve themselves, they serve their families. So bhakti is remembering Maya Pati. The 18th verse. Samashatrau cha mitre cha tatamana pamana yoho shitoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha. Joy. Sama is brought out again. Verse 17, verse 18. Here the sama in the first line and part of the second line, being balanced with enemies and friends is at the mind level. Being balanced with honor and dishonor is at the intellect level. And being balanced at the cool and hot level is at the physical level. So here the balance has to be with all of our equipment. And if your equipments, the intellect, the mind, the body are balanced, your experiences will be balanced too. That's why this finishes with sukha and dukkha. You won't feel that this experience is pleasurable and this one is painful. So more insights into balance. And the value in this verse is number 22, which is vivarjita. It means to not have dependence, to be independent. The one who depends is one who is deluded. The one who depends stops being objective. So whatever they interpret, how they interact, there's a delusion component to that. It is tainted. Like if I can't control my anger, then everything I share with you will be tainted with anger too, correct? If your dishwasher doesn't work well and your dishes are sort of tainted with soap, then you can taste that when you drink water, when you eat, and so on. So to be independent, and I'll give you a visualization to complete this morning. Acharya Shankara shares in one of his scriptures, imagine someone wants to be free, independently joyous, but they're floating in this ocean that we describe as Maya. And so they're looking around for help, and what they see to be a log, they swim over there and hold on to it. But that log turns out to be a crocodile. Then what happens to their journey? Now they bleed out in this journey. That's what attachment is. We feel attachment is going to help us to reach the shore to become free, but it very subtly cuts us and we bleed out. To be careful with your dependence. And that's spinning it from don't do this. What is the spin on doing this? Be like a gopi. When the gopis came to Sri Krishna in the middle of the night, he said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "You taught us our only relationship is you. So we are with you physically, mentally, intellectually." And it was that night that Sri Krishna promised them that we will be one. It was the prelude for the Rasa Lila, the experience of enlightenment. Depend on divinity. From inspiration to application. Your application yesterday was to write a poem on bhakti. How many of you did this? Good. The more you personalize, the more you will practice. That's why I ask you to engage in these applications. It's a way of you personalizing so that you practice. Remember, that's how these values began. If you can't surrender, practice surrendering. Practice giving up results, actions, and so on. But if you don't practice, how will you surrender? Here is your application for this morning. I want you to research Kataksha Viksha. Kataksha Viksha. I want you to research this. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.